welcome Canan Piskin, who is coach for career acceleration through or via stakeholder relationships and positive intelligence. Changing what you attract is the focus.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is quite early in the morning. I'm in UK and now the sun has just risen here. So we all have witnessed the rising the sun, greeting the sun this early morning. Changing what we attract and creating our future. Our minds are our best friends, but they might be our worst enemy. And how we will be using in favor of our lives is up to us. We choose them. Unfortunately, only 20% of the teams and individuals are able to achieve their full potential. That means we can manage how we are using our mindsets and for our lives, and it's our choice. So let me share my screen and start a very short presentation with you. Here we go. I hope you are able to see fully. Our lives are full of successes and failures, and it's up to us, as I said, to use in favor of us and for our future aspirations. And with positive intelligence, we can increase the percentage of time that we are using our minds to serve for our lives. And this perspective, sage perspective, is the key for us to use for our favor, which says that every circumstance can be turned into a gift. Every circumstance or event can be turned into a gift. What does it mean? Let me tell you about a story, the stallion story. There was an old Chinese farmer who had a beautiful stallion. And the stallion was so powerful, beautiful, and won the countrywide prize, being the best stallion in the world, in the country. And all the neighbors of this Chinese farmer came to his house to celebrate. Oh, congratulations! You are so lucky. You have a beautiful stallion, and so you are the most important person, and you have the valuable horse in this country. And the Chinese farmer and the farmers responded, who knows what's good and what's bad? And the next day, as this news has been widespread around the country, the burglars had stolen the stallion. And eventually the neighbors came to the house of the farmer to give their condolences. Oh, what a pity. You just won the prize. Your stallion has just won the prize, and now you are left with nothing. And the farmer responded, who knows what's good and what's bad? And it was so eventful village, as you can guess. The next week, the stallion came back to the farmer with wild horses' friends. And all the neighbors and the village has celebrated, oh, you are so lucky, now you have a tribe of horses and you can have new prizes for your horses. And he responded, who knows what's good and what's bad? And next week, his son started training these horses. And one of the wild horses has pushed him out of his back, and he has broken his leg as he has hit the ground. And the neighbors just came in. Oh, that's so bad. Your only son has broken his leg, and how are you going to do all these farm work and all the stuff? Oh, what a pity. And the farmer responded, who knows what's good and what's bad? They were a bit disappointed with his remarks, but in any case, this was his response. And the next week, the country went into war, and the emperor's officers came to the village to take all the healthy and young men to the army to fight in the war, other than the farmer's son. And then the neighbors came, oh, you are so lucky that your son is with you and he will get well soon and you will be able to be with him. And he said, who knows what's good and what's bad? And the story says that, yes, this is kind of a sage mind that farmer is responding to the events, but it's a bit passive here. He's just waiting for the gift to come. But today, we will talk about how we can create the gifts rather than waiting a gift to come back that we can receive. And now the question, which perspective is true? The saboteurs that says this is bad, our survival brain says, oh, this is so bad, you should have not lost this, or the sage mind, this might be a gift. And the answer was given by Fleming in his speech. Whichever you believe becomes true. Here today, I'll be talking about 3 techniques you can find or create the gifts in any event or occasion. The knowledge, the power, and inspiration. The first gift. This is an approach when you pose the question to yourself when a bad event or a result you have received. What is the knowledge I need to gain so that the payoff in the future would be much larger than what is costing me now? You can convert into a business terminology. My return on investment should be higher than my investment. Should be higher than 1, let's say. For example, we are all into the business world, either coaches or people who are in the sales business, or even we are in the support functions, we are serving our services. That's why I will give you an example about closing a sale. And for example, I have not been able to close a deal with a client. And it's my choice to be in a bad mood that, oh, I have lost another client. I should not be able to promote this. Or shall I be asking the question, what I need to learn in order not to have this kind of a loss, so that I'll be able to gain much bigger clients that will provide much bigger profit revenue for my business? What sales techniques I need to learn? Should I be going to a training? Should I be working with a coach? Which I did when I moved to UK. I have worked with a marketing coach to extend my business here. And the other power, the gift, is the power. And here we ask the question, which power I need to strengthen, which muscle? That is, when you are going to a gym to have your 6 packs or fit in your body, you start holding the, picking up the weights. And the weights, when you start training, were quite small. And then the longer you practice, you put on higher weights on your muscles. And consider each event as a weight to lift so that you can have much stronger muscles. Very unmute. I think there is some noise among the participants. And the question to pose, which muscle I need to strengthen? One of the sage powers that we talk about in positive intelligence, the explore, the empathy, the innovation, or activation, one of the powers. Or do I need to strengthen my saboteur interceptor? How to catch myself that I am in the control of my saboteur? That will not serve me for now. Or how to command myself, moving from my saboteur, my survival brain, to my sage brain, my creative brain, my productive brain. And the last power, you can find out what the gift of that power will make me. For example, here I will give an example of how I'm working in the corporate life. For example, I have a really tough manager, and he is so demanding. He wants us to work for late hours. He messages late in the night, and it's really hard for me to communicate with him and tell what is important for our businesses, to concentrate on more important factors in our business. Or I can continue on just complaining. What I need to strengthen here? The empathize power. I need to understand. I need to see the world from his window. So I need to strengthen my empathize power, for example. This is just an example, or you can continue with other things. And the third power, the inspiration. Here, you are committing an inspiring action that you wouldn't have done if this bad thing hadn't happened. We all know Christopher Reeve, the first Superman, has had a very bad accident. He has fallen from a horse, and he is just paralyzed from his head to toe. But he has created a foundation that will be serving for the science research of that issue in the world. Here you can see an example of a group of people. The woman in the center in white shirt is Ayten Hanım. I am lucky to know her in Azerbaijan. She had her first child, and towards the age of 1 to 2, she noticed some things are not normal with him, with his growth. And she was living she's an Azerbaijani, and she was living in Turkey back then when her husband was doing his PhD. And there, when she brought her son to the doctors, they diagnosed her son is in autism spectrum. She's cried a lot. She cried a lot, and she took her son to a center that her son can get the training with the early diagnosis, so that he can be in a proper, have a proper life. But unfortunately, they said, we don't have any space. And she was so upset because there is no center in Azerbaijan for her to take her son to have that training or education. And she came back home, and she cried for the last time and promised herself that I will create a center in my country that no other child will suffer this. So this is an inspirational action. She would not be creating a center like this if her son was not diagnosed in autism. But now her center that has been established like 7 years ago in Azerbaijan is the pioneer organization. It is the leading organization, also educational organization for other organizations in the country, and also leading the legislation changes in the country for autism spectrum children, which were not recognized as part of these disabilities or let's say other legislation issues. And here in this photograph, you can see the vice president of the country, Mihriban Aliyeva, visiting the center. So this just happened in 7 years' time, even earlier. And this is the inspiration you might be getting from that bad event. Today, I try to give different types of gifts you can create. You might say that I'm not so lucky that I don't have an autism child, or I am lucky that I have a child who doesn't have any different spectrums. But I have these issues in my life, in my business, in my career, in my personal life, whatever. It's up to you which gift you would like to choose. And we are almost end of my talk. We can be struggling with the waves, or we can be surfing with the waves. It's up to you to choose and believe and realize. Thank you for joining me. These are my communication details and my name, Canan Piskin. You can find me in LinkedIn as well. And I'll be happy to connect all of you and share any know-how or experiences or chat with you anytime.
Thank you so much. You've been so inspirational. Thank you so much, Canan.
Thank you. I hope you all enjoyed. I try to give realistic examples that we can implement in our lives. And looking forward to our next speaker, Rita.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.
See you in the afternoon in the panel.
Come back to